For decades, experimental airplanes meant danger. A warning label in every cockpit seemed to prove it. But what if clinging to that fear is costing pilots speed, safety, and thousands of dollars each year? Over 11,000 kit-built Vans RVs defy the old stigma. They are outpacing their certified rivals, sometimes even in safety. The catch is this: everything you thought you knew about home-built planes is about to be challenged. So how did the myth begin, and what is really behind that intimidating placard? In the 1970s, the word homebuilt conjured up a certain image. A lone builder hunched over a workbench, surrounded by fiberglass fumes and stacks of hand-drawn blueprints. Back then, building an airplane meant starting with nothing but a set of plans and a lot of hope. Burt Rutan's Varieze became the poster child for this era. Its canard nose and swept wings looked like something from a science fiction magazine, but the real story was what happened behind closed garage doors. Builders scavenged for parts, sometimes adapting lawnmower engines or hardware from the local supply store. Every decision was a gamble, and the results ranged from ingenious to downright questionable. The process demanded patience, skill, and a willingness to accept risk. There were no pre-drilled holes, no step-by-step video guides, just the builder, the plans, and a dream of flight. Some projects took years, with builders learning as they went, improvising solutions for problems that had never appeared in any manual. For every successful first flight, there were stories of failed attempts, cracked composites, and test flights that ended with neighbors peering over fences, worried if the noise meant trouble. This was the environment that gave birth to the myth, the idea that an experimental airplane was a wild experiment, more science fair than science. Tales spread of oddball contraptions, of pilots who trusted their lives to machines built from scratch in dimly lit garages. The legend stuck, fueled by cautionary tales and the occasional newspaper headline. Long before the arrival of factory-engineered kits, the reputation of homebuilts was cemented by these early pioneers, risk-takers whose legacy still lingers in the small print on every cockpit placard. The warning label was not just a legal requirement, it was a memory of a time when every flight truly was an experiment. Inside every experimental cockpit, a small placard sits in plain sight. It reads, "Passenger warning, this aircraft does not comply with federal safety regulations for standard aircraft." For many, those words land like a punch. They conjure images of makeshift machines and untested ideas, a legal disclaimer that seems to confirm every old fear. But the truth behind that placard is more nuanced than it first appears. The warning is not a condemnation of the airplane's quality. It is a legal requirement, a way for the FAA to clarify that this plane has not gone through the same bureaucratic gauntlet as a factory-built Cessna or Piper. The government did not test this machine, but that does not mean nobody did. In fact, for most modern kits, the level of engineering and peer scrutiny often surpasses what is found in many certified designs. Vans aircraft, for example, has over 11,000 airplanes flying around the world. Their kits undergo extensive prototyping, factory test flights, and a constant feedback loop from a global network of builders and pilots. Every design change is logged, every quirk is documented, and every new kit benefits from the experience of thousands who came before. The placard is a relic of an earlier era, one where homebuilts were truly experimental and every flight was a leap into the unknown. Today's kits are a different breed. They arrive with CNC punched parts, factory-matched holes, and step-by-step instructions that leave little to chance. The builder still needs patience and care, but the process is less about improvisation and more about precision assembly. The warning label remains, but its meaning has shifted. It is not a red flag, it is a footnote to a story that has moved on. What once signaled risk now signals freedom, the freedom to innovate, to customize, and to fly a machine built for the 21st century, not the last one. For those willing to look past the sticker, a new world of aviation opens up, one where the real risk is not in building your own airplane, but in missing out on what these machines can do. A certified airplane may look like a simple machine, but its price tag hides a mountain of paperwork. Every part, every bolt, every fuel pump is stamped, logged, and tracked through a regulatory maze that dates back to the 1950s. The FAA Part 23 certification process was designed to guarantee safety through rigorous testing and documentation, but over time, it has become a financial anchor. Manufacturers face thousands of pages of compliance checks, structural tests, fatigue analysis, and paperwork for every minor change. Even a basic part like a fuel pump can end up costing 10 times more than its automotive cousin, not because it is made from gold, but because it is buried under layers of regulatory approval. The numbers are staggering. Bringing a new certified airplane to market can cost $10 million to $50 million, with up to 8 years spent just navigating the paperwork. That cost does not disappear, it is passed directly to the owner. Every certified Cessna or Piper on the ramp carries this invisible tax. Want to upgrade a simple instrument? Prepare for a stack of forms, engineering sign-offs, and a bill that rivals the price of a new car. The rules do not just slow down innovation, they make it expensive to keep up. Certified airplanes are often stuck with 1960s technology because the cost of official approval for something as simple as a modern glass cockpit can run into the millions. Garmin G3X, for example, took years and hundreds of thousands of dollars to gain approval for certified aircraft, while experimental builders installed the same technology in a weekend. Every certified plane is a product not just of engineering, but of paperwork. That is why a new Cessna 182 costs nearly $1 million, and why so many pilots feel trapped by regulations that protect the past more than they prepare for the future. The real price of certification is not just in dollars, it is in decades of stalled progress. A pilot walks into an avionics shop eager to bring his Cessna 182 into the modern age. He has saved up for a new glass panel, a Garmin G3X, the same touchscreen display found in the latest jets, and more importantly, in almost every van's RV kit built in the last decade. The shop manager barely glances at the work order before shaking his head. No supplemental type certificate, no installation, the rules are clear. Without a supplemental type certificate, touching the airplane means risking the shop's license, insurance, and reputation. Liability isn't just a word, it's a wall. The mechanic's hands are tied, even if the technology is safer, even if it is already proven in thousands of airplanes flying today. The pilot leaves with the same old steam gauges, the same flickering needle, and a growing sense of frustration. This is not a rare story. Across the country, maintenance shops are forced to turn away owners who want to upgrade their certified planes. The problem is not the skill of the mechanic or the quality of the parts, it is the paperwork. Every modification requires a mountain of documentation, engineering sign-offs, and government approval. The cost to get a single avionics system certified can run into the hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. For shops, the math does not add up. One A and P mechanic summed it up: I can't touch it unless it's on the approved list. If something happens, I'm the one the FAA comes after. Owners are left with a choice: pay exorbitant fees for slow, outdated technology, or fly with systems that belong in a museum. The irony is hard to ignore. The safest path, the one paved by regulations, often means flying behind tech that lags decades behind what is available in the experimental world. For pilots who want the best safety gear, angle of attack indicators, synthetic vision, and modern autopilots, there is a growing realization. The only way forward might be to step outside the certified system entirely. That is how the pivot to kits begins, not out of rebellion, but out of exasperation. A modern kit arrives not as a pile of cryptic blueprints and mystery metal, but as a collection of factory-engineered parts, each designed to fit with machine shop precision. The real breakthrough is matched hole technology. Every skin, rib, and spar is cut on CNC machines and drilled to tolerances measured in thousandths of an inch, 5/1000ths of an inch to be exact. When the builder lines up a wing skin, the holes simply match. Cleco clamps slip in with a satisfying click, holding everything in perfect alignment. There is no guesswork, no hours spent measuring and remeasuring, no risk of drilling a hole just a hair off and ruining a critical part. This is not improvisation, it is industrial assembly. The rivet gun, once the symbol of trial and error, becomes a badge of confidence. Each rivet follows a factory-checked path, guided by instructions that read more like a checklist than a science project. The builder's job is to follow the steps, not to reinvent them. This approach does not just save time, it virtually eliminates the small mistakes that once plagued home-built projects. In the hands of a careful pilot, the kit comes together with the consistency you would expect from a production line. Van's aircraft stands as proof of what this process can achieve. More than 11,000 RVs are flying today, each the product of this system. Builders around the world, from seasoned mechanics to first-time hobbyists, have turned out airplanes that rival certified models in fit and finish. The scale is staggering. No certified manufacturer comes close. The numbers are not just a testament to popularity, they are evidence that the method works. When every part fits the first time. The result is not just faster assembly. It is a level of quality control that would make any factory manager proud. The old myth of the handmade, one-off experimenter fades away, replaced by the reality of a precision-built aircraft, crafted by ordinary people with extraordinary tools. A certified Cessna 172 cruises at about 120 knots. An RV-7, built in a garage for less than half the price, leaves it in the dust at 170 knots on the same fuel burn. That is not a tweak, it is a leap. The numbers are easy to check. Cessna's 172 has barely changed since the Kennedy administration, while today's kit planes are setting the pace for the rest of the industry. Speed is just the beginning. Modern experimentals are loaded with safety tech that certified owners can only dream about. Angle of attack indicators, once reserved for military jets, now come standard in most RV kits. They are the pilot's early warning system, showing exactly when a wing is about to stall, not just how fast the plane is moving. In the certified world, retrofitting this tech means paperwork, months of waiting, and a bill that could buy a used car. In a kit, it is an afternoon project. Avionics freedom is another game changer. Want a touchscreen glass cockpit with synthetic vision, flight planning, and weather overlays? In a certified airplane, the process starts with a supplemental type certificate and ends with a 5-figure invoice. In an RV or a sling, you install what you want, when you want it. Pilots flying experimentals are often first to try new tech, autopilots that fly approaches, traffic alerts, even voice command systems. It is not just about comfort, it is about knowing more and reacting faster when things go sideways. And if the worst happens, some kits offer a ballistic parachute system, a whole airplane rescue that certified owners rarely see outside of a Cirrus. The option exists because nobody is waiting for a committee to approve it. Pilots have walked away from engine outs in fields, alive because they pulled a handle and floated down under a canopy. That kind of tech is not a luxury, it is a second chance. The real payoff is practical: more speed, more safety, and more control over what is in your cockpit. For pilots used to the certified world's restrictions, flying an experimental is not just about breaking free from paperwork. It is about unlocking performance and protection that used to be out of reach. The path to real freedom in experimental aviation runs through a single number, 51. According to FAA rules, the builder must complete at least 51% of the fabrication and assembly for a plane to qualify as amateur built. This is not a suggestion, it is a legal threshold tracked through detailed logs, photos, and receipts. Every rivet, every wire, and every logbook entry counts toward that majority. At the end of the build, the builder fills out Form 813-012, swearing under penalty of law that the work was truly hands-on. Inspectors check the documentation, not just the finished airplane. Only then does the FAA issue the pink airworthiness certificate, setting the plane apart from factory-built models with the traditional green badge. That pink slip is not just a piece of paper, it is the key to privileges certified owners cannot touch. The 51% rule turns the builder into more than just a pilot or an owner. It makes them the recognized expert on their own machine, with a level of authority and responsibility most pilots never experience. Owning an experimental aircraft is not just about building, it is about control over your costs and your future. Once you finish 51% of the work and the paperwork checks out, the FAA issues the Repairman Certificate. That one piece of paper can save you between $2,000 and $5,000 every single year, because you are allowed to perform your own annual inspections. No more waiting for a mechanic's schedule, no more surprise bills. Over a decade, that is real money, enough to fund the next project or keep flying when others are grounded. But there is a catch: this privilege stays with the original builder. If you sell the airplane, the next owner does not get that right automatically. They will need to hire an A&P mechanic for annual inspections, just like in the certified world. That is why, if you are thinking about buying a used home built, you need a thorough pre-purchase inspection from an experienced A&P mechanic. They will check the logs, the wiring, and every bolt, making sure you are not inheriting someone else's shortcuts. In experimental aviation, freedom and responsibility always go hand in hand. Right now, more new pilots are choosing to build or fly experimental aircraft than ever before. Over 1,000 new kits take flight each year. As certified models lag behind, the real breakthroughs in speed and safety are happening in garages, not factories. Aviation's frontier is not locked behind bureaucracy. It is open to anyone willing to pick up a rivet gun. The question is, what's still holding you back?